Hello, guys. Welcome back to the channel. How are we all doing? Now, if you're not a fan of Scottish football, then I just want to let you know that I get it. I understand. At the end of the day, we all know our football isn't the best. We all know that the standard just isn't great in Scotland. However, if you're not watching this title race that's currently going on in this country, then I'm just wanting to let you know that you're missing out. It is brilliant. Today again, more drama has happened this weekend. In fact, more drama has happened in the Scottish Football Premiership. Um, Yesterday, Hearts played Falkirk at home and they got a 1-0 victory. Cheshnikov scored just before half time and made it 1-0 to Hearts. Celtic and Rangers the pressure was all on them today. So Hearts, top of the league. Obviously, loads of people are talking about them. Can they sustain it? This is now going on months and months that people have been saying this, that Hearts will fall away and Hearts can't sustain this. They're still there. They're still top. They're still grinding out victories when they really need to grind out victories. And that's losing some of their best players, whether that's through injury, I, Shankland and Devlin, or through suspension, like they've lost Halkett in recent weeks. But they just seem to be grinding out results when they beat Hibs at home. And then yesterday beating Falkirk. So, like I say, the pressure was all on Celtic and Rangers today. And both of them failed. Particularly Celtic, they lost the match. I've just watched the extended highlights of the match. Celtic looked as if they had most of the possession, most of the opportunities. But once again, Celtic this season failed to take their opportunities when it really crucially matters. Apart from one man, and that's Benjamin Negrin, who scored Celtic's only goal today. Umpteen chances in the first half. I seen Yang had a header, and Tunechi and Tierney were doing well down the left hand side, putting in balls, but no one there. Sven Chara, for me, just isn't up to it at Celtic. I don't think that he's the man to score goals. Okay, he might be a target man, and he actually might be good for nights like this Thursday night, where you're away from home and you're just needing that focal point, even though the tie's already done. I think that he's good for that. But if you're wanting goals in your team and you're wanting consistency of 20, 25, 30 goals in a Celtic jersey as a striker, Sven Chara's no your man. I wouldn't be going out to sign him in any rush at the end of the season. Adamu as well doesn't look up to it. Iheanacho looks the best out of the three of them in my opinion, but he doesn't seem to be getting much game time. Iheanacho, I know that he's just back for injury, but when guys in front of you aren't performing, you should be in there, and he's not been. But fair play to Hibs. Hibs scored a good header. It was their kind of only real opportunity up until that point. Celtic dominated the first kind of 20, 25 minutes. Hibs get their goal, 1-0 up. It was a good header. People can blame Kasper Schmeichel. To me, you've got to look at the defending as well, though. I mean, Kieran Tierney was left sleeping at the back. During the week there against Stuttgart, I thought that Austin Trusty was to blame for the first goal and Schmeichel. I thought the second goal was Benjamin Negrin's fault. He was sleeping. Third goal was Schmeichel's fault alongside Scales. And then today, you've got Kieran Tierney's fault. He's just napping at the back post, and it's like, you should be tighter on your men. You should be getting closer and not giving these guys opportunity. People are obviously going to criticise Kasper Schmeichel because he's not the flavour of the month at the moment. He has made a lot of mistakes. People think that he's not good enough to be in the Celtic jersey anymore, which I'm finding harder and harder to disagree with and defend him, to be honest. I mean, today though, I did see that he made a couple of good saves again, keeping Celtic in it, but you can't justify the amount of errors that Kasper Schmeichel is making now. And if you're going to go and win a league title, which is going to be really difficult for Celtic now, albeit, that the league is not over. It's not over by any means at this point. But yeah, if you're going into a league title, you need your goalkeeper to be performing, and you need the striker to be scoring goals, and none of these things are happening for Celtic at the moment. If it wasn't for Benjamin Negrin, God knows where Celtic would be at this point. He's been their only kind of real consistent goal scorer. Dies and Maida's been really poor. He was on the bench today. Him and Hattati came off, and they make any real difference. Now, let's talk about the red card at Celtic Park. It's a corner to Hibs, and the Hibs players kind of tugging on Austin Trusty's shirt. They're kind of like a wee bit of back and forth. Austin Trusty reacts, puts his arm down, and he gets a straight red card for it. Now, I seen the clip of the Motherwell and St Mirren game the other night, and it was a similar thing, albeit they don't even much contact in that at all. Boy lashes it, straight red card, doesn't go to VAR. I need to know the rules. I need to know what's happening here. I mean, if you're going by force and contact, none of them are red cards. I mean, we've got to be clearer here. Is it intent? Is it forced? Is it, any of these things? Because as far as I'm concerned, none of these were red cards. Austin Trusty, okay, shouldn't have reacted. Same with St Mirren player, shouldn't have reacted the other night. But I mean, it's minimal contact, it's handbag stuff. And one thing we've got to be calling out here is the players who are on the receiving end of these acting as if they've been shot. And that's what's been happening there. Both of those players went down far too easily, holding their faces, thinking that they're seriously injured down, and that's giving the referee an excuse to pull out the red card. And again, though, the referee should be stronger, VAR should be stronger, and they should be going to review these things. But if those two are red cards, then we're going to be getting 2-3 red cards in every single match that we watch, because you're going to get frustration. You're going to get people pulling at each other and shoving, and a bit of handbags. It's total handbags. That's what both of those incidents were. So Austin Trusty gets sent off today for handbags. He didn't put his arm in or his hand in anybody's face. He didn't clench his fist. He didn't elbow anybody. He literally just threw his arm down a bit and asked the guy to go off him. You know what I mean? And the guy went down as if he'd, had a bullet right in the head, which is just not good enough. Not good enough. These players need to be called out for their reactions. But anyway, Celtic go on to lose the match. It was a goal scored in the last few minutes, and it was a lovely finish at the bottom corner, and Celtic lose the game 2-1. Loads of people went on TikTok after it. Loads of people saying that they think the league is now over for Celtic, which is just ridiculous. Celtic have still got a game in hand. If they win that game in hand, they go 3 points behind Hearts. But obviously, that game in hand isn't till after next week, and next week is a massive game for Celtic against Rangers. But to the Rangers game, Rangers were very poor in the first half, actually. Although they did dominate the match, but they just, again, very similar to Celtic, just couldn't take any chances. Livingston get an early goal, and, so once somebody gets an early goal like that, they've got something to defend. Same in the Hibs and Celtic game. Once you give the opposition an early goal, they've got something to protect now against you. And that's exactly what happened in both of the games today. Livingston, like I say, 1-0 up. Second half, they take another goal. They score again. Take another lead. Makes it 2-0 at that point, and you're thinking this game could be over. Rangers were just knocking the door, though. Like I said, they were a better team, creating chances. And then Livingston go and get a man sent off. It was a red card in my opinion. I'm sure it was Gisama that was through it. He takes him down, and it was a straight red in my opinion. It was a bad challenge. He was the last man. Straight red. I've got no complaints with that red, to be honest. I think it was. Especially now that you're giving red cards for like Austin Trusty at Hearts and stuff like that. When you're giving red cards for this now, it is a red card by the letter of the law. So Livingston were down to 10 men, and you're thinking Rangers could potentially go on here and even win the match, because obviously they're going to be creating lots more chances. That's exactly what happened. They created loads and loads of chances. Chermiti scores a lovely goal into the top corner. And, to be fair to Livingston, they still defended pretty well after that. They were still pretty solid, and the goalkeeper did well, made a few good saves. Rangers were trying their best to score, and eventually Mikey Moore gets a lovely header into the bottom corner and, makes it 2 each. And then, could only see one winner for there. There was still a good few minutes to go. There was 9 minutes added on. I've seen a lot of people moaning about that. There was 9 minutes. There was people down injured. People were forgetting substitutions as well. There was definitely about 9 minutes added on. And then people were crying about, but only 12 minutes. That's because during the 9 minutes, Mikey Moore takes the ball. He was just slightly outside the box. Sky Sports showed that. Personally, I thought it was inside the box when I seen it, but people were telling me that it was just outside the box. But there was clear contact on Mikey Moore. To me, that's definitely a red card again, and definitely either a free kick or a penalty. But he didn't even get a free kick for it, which was baffling. The standard of refereeing in this country just has to be better. Like, I done a video on here about it the other day. If you want to go and watch it, a couple of videos ago, about how VAR is a good thing, but the people running it aren't. And it's just awful. Again, we've realised that this weekend with stupid decisions, starting on the game the other night with Motherwell and St Mirren, and it's just so annoying. Just so annoying that these decisions are happening. And it's just consistent. It's just consistently poor. We've got to be clearer on these things with red cards and stuff. I mean, if Celtic hadn't get down to red 10 men at that match, who knows? Celtic could have only won that match. And then these points will be vital for Celtic at the end of the season. But next week is really, really vital when it comes to the title race. Again, every week is, every point is. Hearts play Dundee United. And then it's Celtic and Rangers on the Sunday. No. Dundee United are playing, Hearts are playing Dundee United. Dundee United could win that match. You know, that's the thing. We're talking about every point now, and nothing would shock me with points wise and who would lose and who's going to win. There's still twists and turns to come in this. You know, there's people on online today saying Celtic are now at the title race. If Hearts go and lose next week against Dundee United at home, like I say, which is possible, although you would expect Hearts to win that match, you would look at that and go, right, that's a bad result. And then if Celtic go and win at Ibrox, Celtic have all of a sudden become clear favourites, you know? So there is twists and turns to come. Will that happen? I don't know. The likely thing is Hearts win against Dundee United next week, and then Rangers beat Celtic the way Celtic have been performing, although Rangers were pretty poor the day. But my point is, anything can still happen in this title race. It's a very bad result today for Celtic and for Rangers. Gives Hearts even more confidence now getting into the last... But we're in the last 10 games now, 11 games for Celtic, 10 games. Motherwell, people are going on about Motherwell. Motherwell aren't going to win the title. It's just too little too late for Motherwell, although they're a fantastic team. They've got a brilliant manager. They've got some fantastic players playing out their skin. But I think it's too late for Motherwell to be winning enough matches to win the league. Hearts are too far ahead. Hearts are 10 points ahead of them, you know. But we'll see what happens. Obviously, it's a really bitterly disappointing day for Celtic and Rangers. A fantastic day for Hearts. Fantastic day for Hibs as well, by the way. Great result for them to go to Parkhead and get a really good result. And Livingston, you know, getting a point against Rangers at home is brilliant. So it's just really exciting stuff. Yesterday, Dundee got a brilliant away victory against Aberdeen. People were thinking that Dundee were going to be absolutely terrorised this season and be the clear, bottom of the side team. But no, Stephen Presley done a great job with Dundee. Aberdeen are poor. Aberdeen are actually in a terrible, terrible run. They've got no manager, no long-term manager in place, which is baffling. To me, personally, it looks to me as if they're having this director of football make all the decisions, and as if bringing him in as that was the decision that they were going to make as if towards the end of the season, but really, really poor. And Dundee United drew one each with Kilmarnock, but there's still lots to come next week, guys. I'll be on Come On Hoops podcast with Keith tomorrow night. Looking forward to that, talking all things Celtic. Then on Tuesday night, we are talking to Barry from Let's Talk Football Careers. Been speaking to Barry for a long time now, supporting each other's podcasts and stuff. His podcasts are amazing. Go and check it out. Like I say, Let's Talk Football Careers. If you type that on YouTube, you'll see Barry's stuff. It's brilliant, man. He talks to all sorts of current and ex-footballers and managers and pundits and all that kind of stuff. Similar to what we do, but that's pretty much all Barry does. He just does that, you know what I mean? He just does interviews with these guys and stuff. Doesn't do much of his own kind of content. He just likes doing his interviews, which is brilliant. And then on Wednesday night, I'm talking to an old friend of the show, Big Dan Bateman again. Sorry, with Barry first, we'll be talking all things Rangers and obviously this season, and also we'll be talking about his podcast, and we'll be getting his all-time Rangers 11 of Scottish players only. So his players in his lifetime of Scottish players in the Rangers team. So that'll be interesting. And on Wednesday, like I say, an old friend of the show, Big Dan Bateman, will be getting his ultimate Premier League 11, which I'm really looking forward to. Like we done with Big Steve, the Man City fan, the other day. They'll be picking their own system. They'll be picking their own players. They'll be giving us their reasons for picking these players. So it's really exciting. And also, me and Davey, and I don't know if Corey will be back in action yet. We'll see. But me and Davey will definitely be doing some sort of podcast this week, talking about all that weekend games there and the more drama that's to come. Listen, like I said at the start of this show, if you're not watching Scottish football in this title race, then you're missing out. Get yourself watching it. Next week, huge Old Firm derby at Ibrox. Next Sunday. Obviously, like I say, Hearts are playing Dundee United the day before. Get watching it, guys. It's thrilling at the moment. Fans are really excited. There's loads going on. Enjoy. Thanks for watching.